no one in your family did something like that. Why you think you are going to succeed?
Have some faith in yourself and believe you can do it. You're not as soft as you might think.
You might fail. That doesn't matter. Try again.
It's important to fail because when you fail, you know how to not do it next time. If you want something, go for it. Don't let anyone tell you can't do something. And there are people who are not like that.
Yeah. Now we start to eat the antipasta and we are going to talk a bit. I will pause the eating part just because it's going to be a bit private, but you can see that in extras. I will make a video with extra for the people who are going to buy me a coffee.
Nice. Behind the scenes content.
Yes, exactly. What do you think about this food? If you look,
it looks great. I mean, loads of types of cured meats.
I like the prosciutto.
Prosciutto is probably one of my favourites. The salami. I never know the difference between salami and chorizo. I think that must be chorizo, right?
This chorizo is a bit similar with pepperoni.
Is what? Oh, yeah.
Because they contain paprika.
And that's got a little bit more of a kick to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Salami.
Fortunately, I know you are with no carbs, but I like this because it's fresh made. I know you are on low carbs.
Look, I love bread.
Oh, that's my problem.
Bread doesn't love me. That's the thing.
Yeah, same. Even if it's fresh.
It's like that crunch. It's like when you walk into a supermarket, and that waft, that smell hits you of all the baked breads, pastries that you just want to float to it.
Yeah. The thing is, I grew up at the village side. I mean, when we have holidays, our parents send us to our grandparents. And my grandma, she used to do homemade bread.
Nice.
But quite big. It was like this big. One. To show the reference, like in artisan oven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Basically it was made with bricks, sand, and this the very, very interesting thing. The sand, it's that yellow sand, it's very fine.
Okay.
And they didn't use cement, they use cow shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not going to taste that.
But yeah.
To use it for the mortar, you know.
Yeah, okay.
They use that.
Wow.
Even it was like an igloo.
Yeah,
I will pop here an image of those kind of ovens. But when my grandma took a bread out, fresh, half of bread, and me and my brother, we ate it because we like the edge.
Oh, the crust.
The crust.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
But has to have loads of butter.
No.
Oh, for me.
But in our country, they use oil. It was homemade. And it was like olive oil, like that thick.
Yeah.
The color, I think it was even blacker than olive oil.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good.
But the smell.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah, of the oil. I remember we have a store, they have barrels, and they give you in the bottle the oil. It's how it was after post-communism. Now we are taking a break because we are eating, and we come after we are done.
Sounds good.
So we are back. We didn't touch the salad.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I like rucola, but yeah, I'm a meaty guy. We still have some meat. Maybe we are getting hungry until we finish.
Oh, yeah.
And we still have a snack.
Oh, yeah. That'll be gone.
Yeah.
None of that's remaining.
The reason why I have Daniel Woolgar.
Woolgar. Wool is, I always say, wool is in sheep,
Wool.
and then G-A-R.
Okay.
Woolgar.
The reason why I have him on the podcast, because he was my adversary on our boxing match for charity on the ultra white collar boxing. And now I want to talk about our match. Everyone knows who follow me. We end with a draw, basically toe to toe. I want to ask, how did you feel because it was a draw?
I was really happy that it was a draw, because I remember when I was waiting for them, we were standing there after the fight, and you're standing there waiting to have your arms lifted, and the announcer came on and he was like, oh, it had been a really close fight. And in my mind, I suddenly thought, I think I've lost this. And then he said something, and then I just waited, and then both arms went up. And I was really happy, because, and I've said this to my friends since, I think it was a really fair fight. I think that, but more than that, I think it was a respectful fight, if that makes sense. Because you're a really nice guy, right?
Yeah, you too. We've been friends from the beginning.
Yeah.
Go on.
And I think that...
To give me an advice.
And I think that you've got... And there are people who are not like that.
Yeah.
That's why I was so happy that it was a draw.
The thing is, when they announce, when I heard it's a draw, I jump over you to hug you.
Yeah, it was.
I was so happy. No one lose.
Yeah, it was nice.
Basically, it was a win-win.
Of course. And now we can both say we are both undefeated boxing champions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. When you decide to join ultra white collar boxing, what thought you had? Why you participated? It was about the fitness, the challenge, or for the good cause?
I think for me, probably more of a good cause, as well as a fitness thing, I suppose. But so I went to see a friend do it a couple of years ago. I think it was just after Corona and the lockdown and all that kind of stuff. And I remember watching him, and it was in the one up in Huddersfield. And I thought to myself, whoa, and you see him, pump out, getting hit and smacked and stuff like that. And I remember thinking, I don't know if I could do that. I think I probably could do it, but I don't think I want to do it, if that makes sense. And then the more time went on, I was like, because I think it's, I don't know whether I should say this, but I'm going to, but I think it's a bit of a male pride thing, in the sense of, can I fight? Can I take a punch? And can I punch? And testing yourself. It might not be limited to just blokes. In fact, it isn't at all, is it? Obviously, because there was females there as well. So I hope I haven't offended anyone by saying that. But for me, it was like I wanted to test myself as well, because I've never been in a fight. And so the opportunity came up because we were trying to raise money for my son's rugby team. And also, so I raised some money for my son's rugby team, as well as the ultra white collar boxing charity as well. And I just asked people to put a little bit as well into the rugby team, which was lovely. And yeah, that was the main motivator. And I like to keep fit anyway. Who doesn't, right? Like to. And I did a bit of boxing training when I was 17 or something like that. I went a few times to a boxing gym, but never to this extent. So yeah, it was just really lovely to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and Huddersfield Rugby Union, a little bit there for my son's under 11s team,
Nice
which means
job.
they can go on tour as well. So they're going on tour with a bit of money, and have shirt sponsors. So yeah, it was good. Really enjoyed it.
That's nice. What job you have?
So I work. So I'm a supplier relationship contract manager
All right.
for a telco, telecommunications company. It's my day to day. So yeah, we look after kind of contracts and supplier relationships and making sure the IT system is all working. Look, when I left school, that careers advice. What do you want to be, Dan, when you grow up? And I'm like, well, I don't think I want to be a supplier relationship manager for a telco. No way. I wanted to be an American football player.
All right.
Yeah, right. That's what I wanted to do. But it was I don't know what it was like for you, but the advice I got as a kid was, do you want to work in an office or do you want to work outside? I'm like, I don't want to work outside. So I chose office, and that was pretty much the career advice. And I think in a career you stumble, you find your way into a role. So, but it's a job. I enjoy it. I've got a great team. The company's good. So it's all right. It's good. I enjoy it. And I think that's half the battle, right? Doing something that you actually don't mind doing, enjoy-ish, and working with people you like.
So that's
makes it much better.
That's good. I mean, basically to create the perfect environment, like in relation to have with the co-workers.
Yeah,
I think that's good, because if you are coming to work and say, I don't want to be here, I don't want to deal with these people.
Yeah, exactly. And it's changed now, because I work from home a lot as well as the office, and I think that the company I work for also trusts you as well, and I think that's the thing as well. So actually, they trust you to get on with the role and do your job. And I've got a team where, if I've got a problem or an issue, call them up or get on Teams, Microsoft Teams, and everything's on Teams nowadays, isn't it? And just have a chat with them and sort out the issues. It's a nice environment.
Talking about the boxing, the training, it wasn't a joke. Because I'm working out, but it doesn't compare with the training what we have. How do you think it was for you?
Knackering. like you, right? I'm not sure I've been to the gym like most people have, but I think that the physicality of it and how much they work you, not only when you kind of you get there and they're like, right, run round, right now press ups, right now tuck jumps, now da-da-da-da-da, and that's just the warm up. And then it's like, right, this is what we're doing today. These are the combinations I need you to work on. Right, now start sparring. And when we were sparring, as well, pad work as well, but it was just like, right, these are the combinations, boom. You're doing it for 2 minutes, break, 30 seconds, minute, boom, doing it again. And it was just like, boom, stop. Again. And it was like that constantly for an hour session. I was dripping, absolutely dripping with sweat, and knackered as well. And it was tough.
I have this video where I train. It was the easy one, which we had.
Yeah.
But I remember the warm-up, it was quite exhausting. And after that you have the initial training, and after that landing, and even in the end it was hard as well. Hell.
Yeah. And you can see why they do it though.
Yeah.
You can see why they put you through your paces.
Even I think we needed more.
I agree. I think if it was 10, 12 weeks, I think you could have learned so much more. I think because then it's such a condensed amount of time to remember everything and to have everything sink in. And then suddenly when you're in the ring, as you can attest to, it's like, I've forgotten everything.
How was that combo?
Oh my God. I don't think I put a single combo together. It was just like jab, jab, and a couple of body shots.
Well, my coach was saying jab, jab, and hit over the top. It didn't work because every time you hit defend. And that's why I went to the rebound. I hit you a few times.
Oh, mate, yeah. And the guy in my corner was saying, I want you to be first in and last out. And I was like, what the hell does that mean? I was like, okay, so So basically, I'll try and punch you first, and then punch you last, and then get out of the way. But then trying to do that, and it was just like...
I was the feeling is I come and start.
Yeah.
And maybe you end it.
I think it was because I was conscious. I was always thinking, I was watching your jab. And I think as it progressed, you could, because we were both tiring,
Yeah.
you could see what was going to happen, and you can perhaps deflect some shots.
We deflect a few.
Yeah.
I had the perfect picture with how we end the first round. Basically, with our fist in each other's face. That was when the bell ring, and it was like, oh, really? That's great.
But it was so hard to breathe with a mouth guard. I don't know how you found it. I haven't worn a mouth guard since I was very small. But breathing with that, and then I had the horrible pasty mouth, that kind of feeling, and trying to get a drink from my water bottle. It was so there was nothing coming out, and it wasn't quenching my thirst.
I learned a trick. Basically, I was closing my eyes and I was trying to relax. It worked a bit. I missed the session what I supposed to have that Friday. And I did some workout on VR.
I saw.
But I played with someone for the first time. I played online. It was quite interesting. I think after the fight, I was all sore. Because I think I was sore because what I did Friday, not because of the fight.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think I overworked.
Yeah.
I felt like my all muscle was sore.
Do you think that had a detrimental impact to your fight?
No, I wasn't sore Saturday. I didn't feel anything. I was nervous before I come there. Yeah. But when I was at the place, I was all right. Even we talk. We talk with everyone.
Yeah.
You gave me the advice, that good advice to not hit you.
Yeah. Don't hit my face.
Yeah, we have a laugh. It was quite interesting. What do you think about my entrance?
Baby Shark. Oh, it's hilarious. You know what? Because you came on to... Was it two different types of music?
Yeah, because it was a Romanian song. It was like quite aggressive. But it's supposed to switch in the middle of the walk. But I got on the ring when it switched.
Right.
After that, I did.
Yeah, I saw that. The funny thing is I didn't hear the first bit of the Romanian music until I watched it back. And because I guess I was just nervous, pumped, I don't know, but I didn't hear, but I did hear it, Baby Shark, when then you started doing that, and I was like, yeah, babe. It's hilarious.
I heard everyone laughing.
Yeah, it was good, and that's
said, it's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
How did you feel when you see all the people around the ring watching at you? I think I didn't see them. After my Baby Shark thing, I didn't see anyone.
I agree. I think beforehand, when you kind of go down there, you can go and speak to all your people. I didn't go down. The only time I went down is to, I had some people drop out and I had to give the tickets to someone else. So I went down and said hello to people then. But then I didn't go down at all until after my fight, because I think I was most conscious about not putting in a good performance, because people are paid to come and see you. I wanted to last 3 rounds. I wanted to make sure I went to and I almost said to you, shall we go light on each other? I was going to say, should we give them a good show, go light the first round and a half, and then halfway through the second round we'll go nuts. And I didn't, because I was like, let's just see how it takes. But you're right. I was watching down, you could see people, and when you're kind of watching the other fights from the balcony, and you're like, oh, crumbs, there's my friends and all that kind of stuff. And you're nervous kicking in. But then it kind of, once you kind of walk into the ring, like you say, it's just a blur. And I think the lights are there anyway. And you're trying to, big yourself up with the music and everything like that. and then I could hear a couple of things, like a couple of go-ons and punch him. I'm like, well, obviously I want to punch him, but it's like, yeah.
It was very strange because I was thinking I'm not going to hear the coach, and I heard only him. Really, I didn't hear anyone. Yeah. Basically, on the video, I heard my friends saying, "Hands up, Marian, hands up!" But I didn't hear them.
It's my take. If this was the ring, my group of friends were literally on this table here.
Okay.
So they were really close. So I heard a couple of them say, but yeah, it's and they say hands up, and it's like punch them, and it's like, well, you're stating the obvious. But and this is something I said, and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. With boxing, I think you have to have something in you to actually want to punch someone in the face and hurt them. For me, it's counterintuitive. I don't think I have that in my being to actually want to hurt someone. And I think that's why there's a couple. I don't know if I think it's the first round. There was a moment, if you watch it back on the video, where I think you almost, you kind of come like this, and there's a bit where I go like that, and I literally stop myself because I thought to myself, you're like that, and I could really wallop you, and I don't. Like, that video is like that, and I'm like, and I stop myself, and I'm like, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because A, because I like you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we got on so well. But B, it's like, as I said, it's that almost, not the killer instinct, but that
I mean, you
switch.
can see on the video, even me, I was like that. I stopped when I had the clear shot, and once I stopped because I was thinking the bell ring, and it was just that before. It was that clap.
Yeah, the clap, yeah.
I stopped only because of that. When I realized, I turned to not get a punch from, I don't know, from here.
Yeah, it's, but funnily enough, I spoke to the, because we were getting a little bit of a warm-up upstairs from the guys from the gym, and I asked the guy there, I said exactly the same as I said to him as I said to you, and I said, how long did it take you? Because we were talking about him training and how long, and he's been kickboxing or whatever he was doing for about 18 months, and he said it took him about 12 months to get past that and to actually want to hit someone.
Yeah,
it happens in the ring, you go nuts, but outside the ring you're all right.
But I remember when we sparred first time, I had this blockage in my mind to hit someone. I was afraid to hit because I was thinking something bad is going to happen. Because it was 15 years ago, I punched someone in the chest so hard, I was defending myself. I let him without air in the lungs, and he fall, and he was nearly hit the stairs with the head. Ooh. And since then, I said, I saw myself in prison.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And from that moment, I didn't punch anyone. I was kicking, like in the legs, which is painful as well. I was hitting low body if I really need to hit someone.
That's really scary, isn't it? Because I think that moments like that can happen. Yeah. They're life-changing.
Yeah.
Like, and I say this to my son, right? If you can walk away, because that is by far the better outcome for you and for the other person in getting into a fight. If it's the last resort and you're having to defend yourself, you're going to have to make some quick decisions. But if you like you just say, if you're out there and you get into a scuffle, or even if you push someone and they fall and they hit their head, and that is the horrible thing happens, and they don't make it and they die or whatever, then that's your life done. That's you prison.
Yeah.
And very same mentality, and that's why I don't bother getting in fights. Right, I walk away. I've always, and that's why I say you and me are very similar. And I think and that's why we were fortunate while we fought each other, because we had the same mentality. We're two very nice people.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad to hear this.
and as going back to your previous question, that's why I think it was a fair result.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Exactly. We had another problem, both of us. We had the same problem.
Go on.
we've been dancing.
Even what?
We've been dancing. It was a few times. Even the referee told us to not spin around.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to give you a hook, and I just go.
Yeah. No pirouetting, no dancing.
And basically, even I was hitting you, it was very fast, and you just turn around.
Yeah. You told me off for that.
And after that, once the referee stopped me, once I stopped by myself.
Yeah.
Even by myself, I turned around a few times. That was the hardest part for me to overcome. First, it was the punching the adversary, and after that, to not spin around. Because it's exactly when you try to defend yourself, you just go around.
Well, that's why I think it's counterintuitive, isn't it? A, to want to punch someone in the face and hurt someone. And B, when you're getting punched, your natural reaction is to turn around, right? Turn around and go the other way.
Yeah.
And that then turns into a spin and a dance and everything like that. So it's...
We're supposed to take that from Bible, literally, to turn the other cheek.
This is it.
Yeah, but we didn't.
No, very much not.
In the first round, I felt I lost.
Okay.
Really. I felt I lost. That's why in the second round I come harder, and I was very happy when the coach said it's even now in the second round, after we finished the second round. And basically in the third round we did great. How did you feel each round for you?
Probably very similar. In fact, almost identical. Like, I thought I did well in the first round, because it was in my mind what my coach in the corner was saying, like, go in there, be first in there, even though I didn't think I was, but I don't know, maybe I was. And I remember the friend I had, who I came to the gym with, who's also down at the rugby club, so always said to me, I had a good body shot. Like, if I can work on that kind of hook into the body, most people think that you're going to get hit in the face, and that's where you kind of want to aim for. But if you can get a couple of cracking body shots on, then you do all right. And I think I got a few of those, and that's why I think I did all right in the first round. But the second round, like you say, you definitely did better.
I think the adrenaline kicking in me.
Right.
But I got more energy. I don't know. I felt in the second part I had more energy.
I lost mine. Because like I said before, I think you're just knackered. You're breathing so hard with a gum shield in, trying to get water, the adrenaline, the wanting to put on a performance for your friends and family. And I think by the second round, I remember that the first round, I was wanting the bell to ring. I was like, when is the bell gonna ring? And I'm like, come on. And then when it did, I was like, yes. But then that minute goes.
I think it's, I was waiting for the bell. Like, oh, okay, next one. But in total, it's supposed to be 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like two, and with the breaks.
Minute in between, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it felt like forever.
It did. That first round felt like forever. And I think by the third round, I think when you watch the videos back, you can see we're both knackered. And it's funny, isn't it? Because even though I think in training, it's not as knackering, even though I think you're doing more with, because you're there at the gym for an hour, and you're constantly, right, like I said earlier, right, 2 minutes sparring, break, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, for
and you deal with different adversary,
different people. But I felt more knackered in the ring on that Saturday than I did ever in the sparring. And by that third round, I was blowing. I was really, really tired. And I think you can probably see that on the videos. But yeah, it was tiring, very, very tiring.
Yeah, I received a message. Do you want to do it again? That's it. Not this year.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people say that to me. Would you do it again? Would you do it again? And I think I would. But like you say, not for a while. But like I've just mentioned, I think you're lucky. I think we were lucky on fighting each other, because you could get someone who is the complete opposite, and you could probably end in a bit of pain. And that's one of the reasons why it puts doubt in my mind. I don't think I want to do it because of that.
I remember the skinny guys. They've been fighting like, I don't know, they've been faster, but
yeah,
after the fight, when I've been talking with our people, they say that was the best match until then.
I like that.
I don't know if they try to sugarcoat it, but
play to our egos.
Yeah, but I take it.
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh, good.
Well, it was the first draw, wasn't it? We were fight number 10, weren't we?
12.
Was it 12? Okay, well, it's halfway through, wasn't it? Yeah, 12. And but it was the first draw. Like, no one had drawn up to then.
Yeah.
Which to me is great.
With who I was training, Thomas, I think he was the third one, the third to draw. What do you think you learned from the training, from the boxing match?
That's a good question. I think I was probably a little bit naive on how much work to put in. I think that if I was doing it again, I'd put double the effort in. Like, I'd go for running a bit more, right? And I'm not too sure if I'd sign up for extra gym sessions, because obviously that all costs money and everything like that. But, you know, working out at home, going to my usual gym, doing a little bit more. And I think working on your cardiovascular, right? So just not taking things for, is that the right one? Not taking things for granted, you know, not thinking it's going to be easy. I think I probably misjudged it a little bit. I don't know. It's a tricky one, that. What did you learn?
I can do it. That's the thing is, I wasn't good at sports when I was in the school. I was the last one.
Were you the last one to be picked?
No, not to be picked. Yeah, that one as well. But I mean, if they've been a challenge like on running or strength, I was the last one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I know I grew up. I think now I'm stronger than other mates from the school now. It was a good challenge. I overcome a lot of things. My shyness, because I started this podcast because of that, because I want to get better with everything.
Okay.
This was a challenge for me, even to step in the ring, and how I said it to you. Next one is stand-up comedy on stage.
You've inspired me something there.
Tell me about your stuff.
Well, I mean, that's you mentioning about stand-up comedy, and I was like, and you said to me, you should give it a go. And I'm like, no chance. No. I mean, I think I'm the funniest person I know, right? like a lot of people do. I can tell a good joke. Some of them are a bit risque. A lot of them are dad jokes. You know, what's the fastest cake in the world? Scone.
Good one.
Yeah, sad, isn't it?
I like scone.
Yeah, great. And it's scone, not scone, right? I'm going to cause a lot of controversy here.
Okay.
So a lot of people say it's scone because, you know, you pick up the telephone, but I've always called it scone, right? Always a scone. Anyway, and you said to me about ultra white collar stand-up comedy, and I was like, I couldn't do that. But it kind of got me thinking. So back when I was at school and everything like that, I did a few plays. You know, I was in the school plays in Greece. I was Vince Fontaine, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I was Igor. I was in the school musicals, the Rock and Roll Extravaganza.
Nice.
I sung Bryan Adams and all that kind of stuff. And then I went to not an acting school, like a drama school, like a outside theatre school. And I was in a couple of plays there. I did Michael Jackson Thriller. I did a dance and I sung. Yeah,
okay.
So I did a bit. And I just started thinking about that and actually how much I liked it. And then what you said about being on stage, not so much the comedy and having the light shining on you and you were the sole focus. and I auditioned for. I found a local theatre group in Honley, and I got in contact with them, and they said they were having auditions for this play, and I auditioned last week, and I got the part. So there is a play coming in the middle of the year, which I've got. I guess it's a main part. It's a small cast. There's not that many characters, 10 or so. But yeah, the part's quite big. So I'm back on stage.
Let me know when it is.
I will.
I want to come.
Yeah, there's it's a great little show. I mean, I can tell you about it if you like. It's called Sandcastles. It's a play about on the beach, and I guess it's a quintessentially British holiday where you rent beach huts. And there's
where Benidorm.
Well, it's set in England. Or it could be set anywhere in the UK, but it's essentially a row of beach huts. One beach hut is rented by one family, one couple who are a bit pompous, and a bit up themselves. And another couple on the other side who are kind of similar. And then I come in and I rent the middle one, and I'm a bit carefree, don't like the rules, and yeah, it's about how I interact with the whole the whole beach, like holiday beach thing, I guess. And this is a satirical play, so it's a bit of satire, a bit of comedy in it as well. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So
yeah, me too. I want to see it.
Yeah, come along. You come along to that, and I'll come and.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'm not yet there to go to the stand-up comedy because I still have things to do.
Right.
With the podcast.
Can I, heckle you? So when you get a comedian standing up, then you get always that annoying guy in the audience shouting things out. Can I be that guy?
You can try that. That's going to be another challenge because usually I don't know what to do next, and I will do that part with the stand-up comedy to overcome the stage frightening. Even I start now to write a part of what I want to do on the stage, and it's about
stage fright.
Yes, stage fright. Yeah, and how to overcome it.
Oh, good.
Have some funny twist, but I don't know how exactly to continue after because there's only the intro.
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, I wrote here a question.
Okay.
And I wrote something like that. So beyond the boxing gloves, you are a man of many interests. Coaching Ruby, riding motorbikes.
Yes.
And now acting. No. How is the motorbike?
I love it. It is one of the things I've always wanted to do as a kid. As a kid, I had pictures of motorbikes on my wall, and other things. As a teenage boy, of course.
Oh yeah.
But motorbikes was always a thing. But my mum never let me have a motorbike. The rule was you're living under my house, you don't have a motorbike.
Oh. Yeah, no.
So, but it took me up until. Crumbs, how long have I been riding now? Not long. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, 7 years. I did it. Took my test, and it's amazing. Like my cousin sold me my first bike. I didn't tell my wife. Yeah, that went down like a what's it sandwich. We were in a. So I did my test. I passed all my license, and she knew I was doing my bike license. So that wasn't secret. And then my cousin was selling his motorbike, and he gave me a really good deal. And it was a Triumph Sprint ST 1050, a lovely sports tourer, had all the panniers on it. And because I was just starting out, he sold me a package. So it was the bike and everything like that, but he was some boots and some gloves and I think some trousers. And I think the only thing I needed was a jacket and a helmet to get me going. So I agreed to deal with him and I paid him the money. And then we went to the pub with some friends, and a friend of mine knew I was doing my bike license, and I told him my past, and I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I just bought a bike. I can't wait. And my wife was sat there and she was like, what? And I was like, oh God. Because I had a couple of drinks, and and she was really, really annoyed, like really annoyed. But anyway, I grovelled and I apologised. Slept on the couch. No, I didn't. But so yeah, that was back in 2018, I think. And then I sold that bike a couple of years. I did a tour to across Germany. I went to. In fact, the first I passed in the December, and then by the June I got made redundant from a job. And my uncle said to me, "Do you want to come away on a tour?" No, I went from here down to Harwich, and then got the ferry across to Amsterdam, and then we went through Amsterdam and France and saw the is it the Bridge to Ardennes where the famous battle was in the World War II, and then ultimately we were heading towards Colditz Castle, where they used to house all the senior officers in the Second World War. I'm pretty sure it's Second World War. Yeah, Second World War. Have you been to Colditz Castle?
No.
It's amazing. Like, genuinely, if you can get the time to go out there, it's fantastic. And the thing that stuck with me about that place is that because they had in prison all these high-ranking military officers and people who were smart, right? And pilots as well, people who were proper switched on. Anyway, they had a library in this castle, and they treated the prisoners fairly well by all accounts, and let them read books and stuff like that, and just weren't obviously allowed out because it was a prison. But one of the books in the library was how to make a glider. So this pilot started reading this book, and it told you these step-by-step instructions about how to make a glider. And that what they did is he conspired with one of the other prisoners, and they buried a tunnel under the ground or somewhere, and it went under the chapel and then up this side of the building and up into the roof space. And they used to go there every night and build this glider from scratch. I can't remember how long it took them, but they used to save their oatmeal, their porridge from their breakfast, and they used that with I think it was pillows fiber to create the shell of the glider. And then they invented a rope and pulley system. So what they wanted to do is they created a hole in the side of the wall, and they had a rope and pulley system. So the rope would attach to the glider, and they had a bath at the end, and they were going to push the bath over, and then that would then cause the glider to go, and there'd be one person in it. It could only sit one person, and they built the glider. They built it to scratch, and it was the wingspan, and the wingspan was massive. And the day before they were due to fly, they got caught. And I don't know whether they got sentenced to death or anything like that. I don't know the ins and outs of the story. But the long and short of it is when you do the tour at Colditz, they show you this, and they rebuilt the glider from scratch. Because they dismounted it when they got caught. They kicked it all down and blah, 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 blah. So back in I think it was 1995, 96, 97, something like that, they rebuilt the glider from the original plans, and they did it exactly like they were going to do it. Like the prisoners were going to do it. They dropped a weight over the edge, and they sat someone in it, and the glider went, and they would have made it. He would have escaped. If he'd have jumped on it, he would have escaped. And that's it. If you can get a chance to get a copy, it's amazing.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. The idea, I mean, what we talk until now is just touch the whole point of my podcast is basically do stuff. Like you've been on a motorcycle in tour in Germany. We did the boxing challenge. Yeah. You're doing the theater thing. I try to promote to do more with your life, not just sitting on the couch. I mean, you can do that as well. I'm doing it, but I want to experience stuff. That is what about the boxing match why I get in, and after that I get involved with the charity which I raise money for.
Oh, great.
Special Effect. They are doing gaming stuff for people with disabilities.
Oh, nice.
And they invite me to an event where they are hosting. It's a gaming event for everyone who want to participate, and they're raising money for the things what they are doing.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it is. But I will go just next day. It's 3 days, and I'm going only on the last one because in the second day is my daughter's birthday. Yeah, and how I said, it's exactly what I'm looking for. Take an action, do something, and I want to do the motorcycle thing as well.
Oh, do it.
Because I saw people going with the motorcycle in the Peak District, and I thought, I wish to do that.
I think it's great. I think it's worth it. The motorcycle thing. I think if that's your thing, great. If it's not, I know people don't like it. My wife hates it. She hates it. She insists I give her a call when I get there, and sometimes I forget. I ride to work.
But now you have a sport bike or
no adventure bike. So now I've got a Kawasaki Versys 1000, which is much more upright than my sports tourer.
Yeah.
But it's still a dangerous hobby. But I think that when you're 30. Sorry, not when you're 30. I think when you're older, I don't know why I said 30. I think when you're older, you've got that much more experience in driving. Like I've been driving since I was 17. So you're not some kind of 19, 20-year-old jumping on a motorcycle for the first time. And also I think that...
And you're going safe.
Exactly.
Basically, you're respecting the rules of the traffic.
And you've got so much more to lose.
Yeah.
Right? You know that if you're an idiot and you... Don't get me wrong, right? We all give it the beans, right? If there's a clear road,
Even with the car,
right? Of course, I'm going, right? But 9 times out of 10, I'm being respectful because I know that if I crash and I die, I'm leaving behind a wife and 2 kids, right? And that's what I don't want.
Yeah.
But I think that do it because you're right. You're a long time dead, right? And I think that you need to do these things. You need to push yourself. Because, like you say, of course you can sit on the couch if you want to. Of course you can do that. But I think it's important just to push yourself to these things. Like I did the Great North Run a couple of years ago, which was my first ever half marathon, and that was really tough, right? But I did it, and I felt fantastic for it. Linking in with the bike thing, I climbed Snowdon last year. Ooh. I didn't know it was the hardest path, but it was Watkins Path. A friend of mine said, we'll jump on the motorbikes, we'll go camping, and we'll camp at the bottom of Snowdon and we'll climb Watkins, which on the official tour, the official map says Watkins is the hardest path. I think Clangoch, I can't remember the exact name, is a bit harder. It's an unofficial path. But yeah, climbing that was something else. And then the boxing, and then the acting thing, and who knows what's going to be next. But you're right, You need to do something. What I meant to say was it's a primeval thing. Do you know what I mean? When it's almost like the hunter-gatherer. Do you know the man used to go and hunt, and I think the boxing thing is primeval, right? Do you know what I mean? It's like that's the only way.
You know how it was for me when I started to do the podcast Romanian. I invite a guy who is industrial mechanic. He's a Romanian, but he's a co-owner of a MMA gym. Maybe you're not going to understand the language, but you're going to see what he did with me.
Oh, really?
Because I went at his place and he threw me on the mat.
No, really?
That was an interesting part because I used to do breakdance in the high school.
Okay.
And he told me I need to learn how to land on my back. And I was afraid to do it. How I'm afraid to do that? Because I used to do the flick in the air and jump on the back, and I wasn't afraid. I think because I get older, I become a bit sturdy, like a timber. Like, how do you say, like a stud.
Well, how old are you?
37. I did that 20 years ago. I was doing breakdance.
Well, this is my point, and I think you get to as you get older, you kind of get to into your 30s and 40s, and you realise that actually stuff hurts, right? And you're not as flexible anymore, and you become much more risk averse. And I think that throwing yourself onto your back, like nah.
I even was on mat. But it was interesting. He did some headlocks.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was scary. Really. I never felt something like that.
I know exactly what you mean.
I never felt something like if I didn't tap on time, I was out and I was, wow.
I know exactly what you mean. So, Cookie, the guy I came down to the gym with for boxing, I was training with him as well at the rugby club. We used to go and do some just weights, right? Just do some weights. And we were just talking about headlocks and stuff. And he said to me, you don't want to get them in a headlock and kind of restrict their airway sort of thing. You want to apply pressure here.
Yeah.
And he did it to me. And he was like, this is what you do. And he had a big arm anyway. And he got my arm and he squeezed it. And what you just said, I suddenly, within about 3 seconds, I was like, whoa. And I felt really lightheaded, like I was just about to pass out. I've never felt that before in my life. And it was a bit weird.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I've done it to my son since.
And after that vlog, what I did, he invited me. He participated to a boxing match. But it wasn't like ultra-wide color boxing. It was some professional as well. But it was like, when it's a professional fight, they have some people just fighting before.
Oh, yeah.
And he fought in a boxing match. He's supposed to forget all the MMA stuff, Jiu-Jitsu, what he's teaching. He's teaching kids Jiu-Jitsu. And that was my first contact with boxing match. When I saw him, he lost, but I saw in last round, it was almost to grab his opponent by leg, like how he did with me throwing on my mat in the mat. But in the last second, he stopped because I record that part. Even I show you, look here, you wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And after that, I had another 2 podcasts. They're in English. The first podcast is with a young guy who won a match with a broken arm.
Yeah, boxing match. Really?
Professional, like an amateur.
Did he know it was broken?
No, he didn't.
I mean, that
He knew after.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, even me. I think I hit you in the elbow or something.
Right.
Because I felt a pain here. I didn't felt it there. Only when I left the premises, I felt it here.
Do you not think that the gloves made a difference? Because I said
it wasn't like mine.
Well, so we trained in 16 ounce.
Yeah.
And then we fought in 18. And I think that what's 2 ounces in kilos? 0.4?
Something
like that. And I think they just felt softer. I just think they were bigger and heavier.
My left glove was bugging me because it got a hole.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was bugging me. I think I didn't remember it during the fight, but before match, I said, I don't like that.
And the sweat from everyone else.
No, it wasn't sweaty how was I expected to be, because I was expecting worst.
I went into a pond.
Yeah. And the third thing what I remember, and basically that lead me to do the ultra wide color boxing. I had this doctor. She was dying. She get better. Just because only one department from hospital from London, they look at her and safer. She told me, "Oh, look, my perspective changed now, and I want to fight. I want to fight to raise money for that St. Mary's Hospital from London, something like that."
Okay.
In my mind was, I can do that as well. I wanted to do for Make-A-Wish as well, but I didn't find it in the list, and I found special effect. This sounds like something which I like gaming and helping people with disabilities.
Yeah, good.
I said, I will choose this one.
I think you and I were up quite high, right? Certainly within the top 10.
In the list, I was the third.
A third?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
I was the first, but it was that lady who
she
did double amount of what I did.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
I was after that the fifth, and I come up on third. I don't know now.
I don't know. I think some people have asked me afterwards, is it still open? And I said, if you want to, please do.
But no one donate after that. But because of that, I will do something else for the same charity. When you want to celebrate something, what do you prefer to eat?
I think that if I was going to go out to celebrate, I don't know, like an achievement or something like that, and I was going out to a restaurant, like we were just talking about, right? It's got to be meat. It's got to be like a steak or something like that. Because even though I can cook a steak at home, I'm not too bad of a cook myself. It's never like at a restaurant, right? It's never.
True.
And I think that a nice piece of steak, or I quite like not like. You can go out for like Indians and Chinese and everything like that, but I quite like different cultured food. Like there's a great restaurant in Honley, Lebanese food called Savara. I don't know if you've been there. It's owned by a family, and the mum is still in the kitchen doing the cooking. The food is unreal. So all this kind of Lebanese food, that Middle Eastern food. I love that. Just as long as it's got good flavour. And it's hearty. I hate going to a restaurant where you come away thinking, I'm still hungry. I hate that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not one of these little nouvelle cuisines. Oh, there's a tiny little, a tiny little portion.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I don't like posh either. I like more like Romanian way,
which is
like a lot. I will tell you about the weddings. Because our weddings, you have the appetizer, the hot entry, if I say it right.
Yeah, entree, yes.
Yeah, a soup, but there are big quantities,
Okay.
The steak with, I don't know, potatoes or something. It's going to be the cake and sarmale, but that's like more like in the morning. You have plenty of food.
Yeah.
Even sometimes you don't believe how much you eat. My father went to a posh wedding in Romania, and he said, never in my life I've been to a wedding and I come hungry than I went.
What did you have?
I don't know. It was like small things, not like a lot of meat, like how is the traditional Romanian dishes. Like a lot of chicken or pork. Even with the soup, we have 2 or 3 different. It's the villager soup.
Okay.
It's with vegetables and pork. We have Greek.
Oh, great. Okay.
It's with chicken and with Greek yogurt.
Okay.
We call it smântână because it's made in Romania. But it's the similar product. And we call it ciorba de burtă. I think it's sour soup with, I don't know how it's called. It's a word. It's basically the stomach of the cow.
Okay.
Very well boiled and clean with vinegar. But that soup, I know it sounds like, because it's a stomach.
Yeah, people are a bit like, with offal, aren't they?
Yeah, but the taste of the soup, it's very, very good. And it's here in Pontefract, the place where they serve.
What, a Romanian restaurant?
Yeah. Uncle John.
Okay.
I will record a video. Basically, it's one of the things what I will do. Go in places, taste food, like diverse food, and do some activity. That I want to combine this, like to do an activity and taste some food.
Yeah.
And I want to present their food as well, like Romanian traditional dishes.
That'd be good. I don't think people know about traditional food a lot. Like, I wouldn't know where to go for a Romanian restaurant.
There are few in Doncaster. We eat a lot of garlic.
Okay.
It's not because of vampire. We like garlic.
Yeah.
Even on the steak, we put a garlic sauce.
There's a similar question that we sometimes talk about is not what you might eat when you celebrate, but what your death row meal might be.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Which I like the most.
I think, because I've thought about it a lot. Not that I'm going to go in death row or anything.
Yeah.
But I think it'd have to be some kind of like a roast, a Sunday roast.
Sunday roast? Okay.
Like roast beef, Yorkshire puddings, stuffing, gravy, roast potatoes, honey roast part. I'm something more. and then for pudding, sticky toffee pudding with custard and ice cream.
Okay.
It's death row, right? You get choice whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah. Go on.
I mean,
What do you have on the spot?
For me, it's not going to be the Romanian traditional Sunday dinner, or because it's different. But I think I will choose a steak.
Back to the good old steak.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fail-safe. It's a catch-all.
Yeah, I wanted to try a crocodile steak. It was a place who sold the meat, and I don't find the place because I googled it before. It showed on Google, it's closed, and now I'm not able to find it. I need to search again. Even they had kangaroo.
Yes.
Tails.
I've tried. I did travel to Australia when I was a kid.
Oh.
And I think I've had shark and kangaroo and emu and crocodile and some other crazy stuff. But it's good.
We are approaching to the end, and I want to ask you if you want to give an advice to someone to step in the ring or do something crazy like what we did with the boxing match, what you can tell them.
I think the first bit of advice would just be, and you touched on it earlier, believe in yourself. As humans, generally, we're capable of achieving many great things, right? I mean, first man to climb Everest, first man on the moon, and all that kind of stuff. And I think that a lot of people are just too content, again, touch what we touched on earlier, to sit and just let life pass you by.
Yeah, that's one.
And perhaps are afraid. But I think if you just have some faith in yourself and believe you can do it, and push yourself, you have to push yourself a little bit, and just believe that you can do it, because it takes a bit of courage and a bit of faith in yourself. You're not as soft as you might think. I think there was a quote. Have you seen the film Green Street? I might have mentioned this to you when we were boxing. There's a film called Green Street with Elijah Wood? Anyway, the premise of the film is he's American. He comes over to the UK to be with his sister, who's married this English bloke, and it just so happens that he is a football thug, for want of a better phrase, and her brother gets in with this crowd, and it's the West Ham fans.
Okay.
It's their kind of back in the whenever it was, they're kind of the football hooligan, and how they used to go around and cause fights. Anyway, he'd never been in a fight before, much like me, and there's a comment that he made in that film. I can't remember it word for word, but it's something along the lines of, when you get hit for the first time and you realize you're not made of glass, it kind of gives you a bit of a spurring to actually say, I'm not going to break. I am okay. I've taken a punch. I haven't fallen on the floor and shattered, and I want to do some more. And that kind of spurs you on, and that stuck with me. I never been punched before. I was never in a fight. I got punched in the sparring session by lots of other people, and I didn't break, and I wasn't made of glass.
True. The thing is, even you might fail, but that doesn't matter.
That's how you learn.
Just try again.
This is it. I say to my kids, right, it's important to fail, because when you fail, you know how to not do it next time.
Exactly.
And then you can learn from it and move on. So
exactly is one of the advice what I give it to my brother-in-law. He started to do portraits. Someone paid to do it.
Oh well.
He didn't like it how it end, and I said, "But you are close enough. Do it again." And he did better. And I said, "You see, just you need to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You've been there. You didn't do it before. I mean, he's good at drawing, but yeah, give you a chance. Maybe 2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
But even it was people who participate 4 times on ultra wide color boxing.
Yes.
And 5th time they won. And I said, you see, she didn't give up.
Yeah.
It was a woman.
It's important.
Yeah.
It's important not to give up. But you've got to have that kind of mentality, that kind of dogged determination to see it through. And it's easy to give up. It's easy to throw in the towel, right?
Yeah, true.
And I think sometimes we all find the easy way out of certain things, right? Depends on the situation, but you're probably the same, right? When I set my mind on something, I'll give it 110%. You know, I'll go for it, and I won't give up.
I'm not quite like that, because you see, you have long days, and when I need to do my stuff, I'm tired. But I'm doing it, and if you're still doing it, after that you are 100%. You need to do the first step, like babies. After the first step, come the second one, third one, and after that we are walking. And after that, the parents are running after you.
Yeah.
Now I want to thank you to be the incredible opponent.
Thank you for being one
And
too.
for the nice experience that we have on ultra wide color boxing. And I need to thank Laura for doing these events.
It's a lot to do, right?
Yeah.
You've got a lot to do.
She started doing it again.
Already?
Yeah. I don't know in how many months they're going to start, but she sent me a message. You want to participate again? Yeah, it was lovely, but not this year.
Yeah, maybe in a couple of years' time.
The last question. If you have anything to say to the audience, just to let them know about life, or
That's an on the
a piece of advice, if you have.
A piece of advice.
I mean, you gave one early.
Yeah. There's 2 poems that I love, really, really like. Well, one's a speech and one's a poem. And I wish I could recite them, because they don't necessarily mean anything to me per se. Like, my dad didn't tell me when I was that high and anything like that. But when you read the words, it's really inspiring. One of them is called If by Rudyard Kipling.
Okay.
And it's fantastic. And the second one is Man in the Arena. It was a speech by Theodore Roosevelt. A Man in the Arena is quite poignant, is that the right word? Linked to our boxing, because it's basically saying that, you know, those who get in the arena, those who try, those who show courage and who are brave and who will get beaten down but get up again, and their faces marred with blood and sweat and dust, but they keep coming again and again and again. It's a fantastic speech. And I think that, I don't know, my advice would be to people who are ever listening, you know, just go for it. If you want something, go for it, right? Don't let anyone tell you can't do something, because don't get to a point in your life where you think, what if? What if I did this? Naturally, that will happen, you know, because you will choose a path in life, and you will not go another path, and you will always think, oh, I wonder what if I did that. But I think that I say to my kids is choose the untrodden path. Because if there are 2 paths in a forest, and one of them is the path, right, and one of them isn't, and it's a bit overgrown, or there isn't a path, right, go that way. go that way, because who knows what's that way?
Yeah.
Who knows what? You could have the best time going that way. Everyone's been that way. Everyone's gone down the path, right? Go the other way, because it could be a world of fun, and you never know what you're going to find.
It's funny about what you say. It's funny just because it popped a phrase from my childhood, and basically our parents in Romania, they've been taught, not only the parents, everyone, if you do something extraordinary, like say no one in your family did something like that, why you think you are going to succeed? No one in your roots did that. You are going to fail. It's a thing which make you to step back. Now I'm just saying I can do this. Doesn't matter. No one in my family didn't do this, but I will do it.
Yeah.
It's exactly how you said about the path. I don't want to follow their path. I want to do mine.
Choose your own way.
Exactly. Or maybe you see some footmarks on the grass and you go there.
Yeah. Could be an adventure.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for coming, and for you, I need to thank you for watching, and please let in the comments any advice or who I should invite next. Or for the vlog where I should go next. Because I did a vlog where I've been to Retrodome, to arcades games.
Oh yeah.
That was the first, and I will come with something nice in the future. I have a list to things what to do around Barnsley, and I cannot wait to experience that.
Oh, good. I'll tune in.
Yeah, even shooting with the weapons.
That sounds good.
Yeah. All right. See you.
Thanks very much.